Hello, it's Neil Baldock from Charles David Casson, and this is another video in my series of frequently asked questions that tenants and landlords ask us. And this week I want to talk about, can you increase the rent within a fixed term tenancy? And the simple answer is no. The only time you could do that is basically if your tenant agrees to it. Otherwise, you cannot increase the rent within the fixed term. So if you have a fixed term tenancy of 6 months or 12 months, you can only increase the rent at the end of that tenancy, and that will be done by agreeing that with your tenant and then creating a new tenancy agreement, which you then sign for the increased rent. Or if your tenancy then goes on to what's called a periodic tenancy after the fixed term has ended, you would then use what's called a Section 13 notice and give a minimum of 1 month's notice of the proposed rent increase. So if you have a fixed term tenancy and you want to increase the rent, you will have to wait until that tenancy comes to an end, unless you can come to an agreement with your tenant and they actually agree that you can then create a new tenancy agreement part way through. But otherwise, you must not increase the rent within the fixed term. And this is why it's especially important that you do review your rents every time they come to renew, so that you are making sure you're taking the opportunity to increase the rent if it's fair and necessary. And of course, with all the rising costs that landlords are experiencing at the moment, quite often it is the case that it is prudent to increase the rent at the time of renewal. If you've got any other questions regarding any tenancy matters, please do get in touch with me or my team and we'll be happy to help.